In this podcast episode, Cynthia Thurlow discusses the intricate relationship between the gut microbiome and hormonal changes women experience during the menopause transition. She explores how declining estrogen levels uniquely alter the gut's ecosystem and how these changes influence systemic health, including immune function, brain health, bone density, and metabolism. The conversation also highlights how stress, trauma, and lifestyle factors interact with gut health and aging, offering actionable insights for women to support their bodies through midlife and beyond. Cynthia emphasizes that after estrogen levels decline during perimenopause and menopause, the gut microbiome becomes a dominant factor influencing the aging process. Rather than hormones alone controlling health, the gut, often called a longevity organ, plays a critical role by mediating communication between the bone, immune system, ovaries, and brain. This gut organ axis magnifies the effects of estrogen loss, explaining why shifts in immune regulation, inflammation, and digestive health occur during this period. The gut's microbial diversity decreases, beneficial bacteria often decline, and inflammatory species increase, all of which impact neurotransmitter production and exacerbate symptoms like anxiety, depression, bloating, and brain fog. Estrogen's immune-modulating properties become especially apparent during its decline. Cynthia points out that the immune system becomes dysregulated in perimenopause, contributing to the 4 to 5 times higher incidence of autoimmune conditions seen in women during this transition. The gut microbiome also shifts concurrently, influencing systemic inflammation, commonly called inflammaging. Hormones such as progesterone and estrogen not only regulate immune responses, but also impact the production of calming neurotransmitters like GABA, affecting mood and cognitive function during menopause. Even when women begin hormone replacement therapy, HRT, Cynthia notes many still struggle with gut-related symptoms, with bloating being the most common complaint. These symptoms may reflect multifactorial issues, including stress, antibiotic exposure, altered food sensitivities, and leaky gut. For some women, foods once tolerated like dairy become inflammatory. Antibiotics can devastate the microbiome, triggering digestive disturbances that last months or years. This underscores the need to support gut health in conjunction with hormone therapy, rather than relying on hormones alone. The dialogue delves into the brain-gut connection, highlighting the vagus nerve as the communication highway. Since the majority of neurotransmitters are produced in the gut, disruptions to the microbiome can directly affect mental health, resulting in anxiety, depression, and brain fog. Antibiotic use, stress, and dietary factors influence this pathway, and gut permeability, leaky gut, can parallel blood-brain barrier permeability, leaky brain, promoting neuroinflammation. The complex relationship between declining estrogen, serotonin, melatonin, and brain function further complicates cognitive and emotional symptoms experienced in menopause. Unresolved trauma and chronic stress emerge as major contributors to gut dysfunction and overall aging. Cynthia stresses that many women lose resilience in midlife, making previously manageable stressors more damaging. Years of accumulated, unresolved emotional trauma can manifest physiologically as inflammation, gut permeability, and immune dysregulation. Alcohol use also negatively affects the gut microbiome, worsening leaky gut and inflammatory responses. Healing often requires not just supplements or hormones, but nervous system repair through mindfulness, meditation, grounding, and therapy. Cynthia advises cultivating a parasympathetic, rest and digest, nervous state to support gut health. Regular practices like meditation, yin yoga, or simple grounding exercises can enhance stress resilience. Dietary fiber is central for microbiome restoration, with diverse plant-based fiber promoting short-chain fatty acid production, especially butyrate, a metabolite crucial for reducing inflammation and supporting insulin sensitivity. She encourages bio-individual experimentation with fiber sources such as chia, flax seeds, fermented foods, and psyllium husk. Incremental increases and attention to tolerance help avoid bloating and discomfort. Awareness of food sensitivities, elimination diets, and connection to how one feels after eating also play key roles. A fascinating concept discussed is the Microgenderome, the gender-specific differences in gut microbiome composition emerging after puberty due to hormonal influences. In women, the microbiome undergoes notable shifts at puberty, during pregnancy, and again in perimenopause, largely driven by estrogen and progesterone fluctuations. Post-menopause, the female microbiome increasingly resembles a male profile. The ovaries, known as the pacemaker of female aging due to their mitochondrial density, have a continuous dialogue with the gut microbiome, creating a gut-ovarian axis that influences fertility, aging, and health outcomes. Cynthia shares a personal story of lasting gut disruption following a severe case of Giardia infection contracted during midlife, complicated by powerful antibiotics and antifungals administered during a hospitalization. Her microbiome was so compromised that she could tolerate essentially only meat for months and experienced significant sensitivity to fiber, oxalates, and histamines. It took years to recover gut balance. Her experience underscores how vulnerable the gut can become in perimenopausal women and why individualized care and patience are vital. Bone loss, Cynthia explains, is intimately linked to gut health long before it becomes visible on scans. The gut-bone axis functions through inflammation modulation, nutrient absorption, and hormone signaling. Early contraceptive use, keeping estrogen low, can hinder optimal peak bone mass development during youth, setting the stage for later vulnerability during menopause. Declining estrogen disrupts the bone remodeling balance, increasing osteoporosis risk by accelerating bone breakdown. Screening with DEXA scans earlier than the standard age of 60 allows timely intervention. Lifestyle factors like strength training, diet, and gut microbiome optimization can profoundly affect bone preservation and reduce frailty risk. Weight gain resistance seen in midlife women is described as a multifaceted issue involving metabolic shifts, hormonal changes, neurotransmitter imbalances, and lifestyle factors. Declining insulin sensitivity, loss of muscle mass, poor sleep quality, chronic stress, and altered eating patterns contribute to changes in body composition. Cynthia notes that women often underconsume protein while overeating processed carbs, exacerbating these issues. The gut microbiome's role in metabolic signaling and inflammation further influences weight regulation. Exposure to environmental toxins and negative thought patterns also impact aging and metabolism. Adequate sun exposure and connection to nature are highlighted as crucial for mitochondrial health, sleep regulation, and stress reduction. Cynthia encourages finding ways to incorporate natural light and outdoor activity into daily routines, even simple measures such as brief walks or grounding practices. These efforts support circadian rhythms and the autonomic nervous system, reinforcing overall resilience during the menopause transition. A powerful theme is the transformation many women experience in menopause around self-expression and boundary setting. Estrogen's decline removes some of its people-pleasing effects, allowing women to speak their minds more freely and prioritize their own health and well-being. This shift is both liberating and connected to improved mental and physical health. Cynthia shares that embracing this change and addressing suppressed emotions can reduce autoimmune flare-ups and promote healing. The episode further elaborates that healing through midlife often depends on nervous system repair, not just addressing supplements or hormones. Cynthia urges women to seek therapy or other support to resolve lingering emotional issues, especially as memories or unresolved trauma may surface during this hormonal transition. Ignoring these factors can perpetuate inflammation, autoimmune conditions, and mental health struggles. She encourages early intervention and destigmatizing therapy as part of comprehensive menopausal care. Cynthia concludes with foundational lifestyle pillars essential for supporting the gut and overall health during menopause. Sleep quality tops the list as it critically influences microbiome and metabolic function. Regular stress management practices are equally important, emphasizing the need for consistent, enjoyable, calming rituals. Nutrition, focusing on anti-inflammatory, nutrient-dense foods with attention to adequate protein and fiber intake, supports healing. Exercise, especially strength training, helps maintain muscle and bone health. Thoughtful moderation of alcohol and environmental toxin exposure, along with early conversations about hormone replacement therapy when appropriate, round out the basics. She stresses bio-individuality, encouraging women to prioritize these foundational aspects before pursuing more advanced therapies or supplements.